everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Beta Ray Bill Issue 2. And this was a pretty decent issue. We got some nice action going on. We got a kind of clear idea of Bill and what he's trying to do, and kind of the path that he's going to attempt to take with that. So we start off and we see that him and Scott are in space. He's pretty much doing his ping pong thing. They're trying to figure out where Odin is and having no luck. And then suddenly we see that there is someone on the galley. And we get this nice kind of look out of how Scott is kind of like dividing all these different kind of sections and everything. Before we go in and we see that the person in the galley is Scourge. And he's been dead, but he's allowed to walk around in his ethereal form. Because Valhalla was too boring for him because it doesn't have guns. And I'm like, that's kind of a vast oversight for like an afterlife for the warriors. Because he's like, yeah, it's got all these weapons, but it doesn't have any guns. And of course, he had also saw what had gone on with Bill and Sif and wants to be his wingman and help him. And Bill's like, I kind of don't need your help, man. I just kind of need to find Odin. She's like, I got you there. And they go to the bar that we have seen in like the Thor series, and they're pretty much trying to figure out what to do. But of course, this one dude starts making some beef with Bill because evidently Bill's visage was distressing to his date, and he's dirting some shit. And Scourge fucking thunder slaps this motherfucker. It's like, you dare insult my wingman! And we get a ballroom blitz pretty much thing going on, which is a really nice action scene. The art style really does a good job in like kind of still moments and action moments. And they just whoop all kinds of ass before Odin comes and is like, I told you not to fucking serve those bikers, dude. And he's like, you want the bikers, these guys gotta fucking start this shit. And of course, we see that Pip has also popped up. It's like, why the fuck are you here? It's like, I don't want to help you, Bill. And they sit down, and Odin's like, yeah, they let me stay here, and I brew my own beer. How do you like it? And Scourge is like, it's good. Yeah. Bill, of course, entreats Odin to make him a new hammer. Odin's like, aren't there other kind of weapons in Asgard? He's like, well, I need one that will help me change me back to my normal form. And it's interesting that he kind of needs both forms to be able to fight in his kind of horse form, and then to do other kind of stuff in his regular kind of humanoid form. But he starts bringing all these up, and Odin's like, I'm not the god I once was. I don't have the magics and power, because once Thor took over as Allfather, I kind of wanted to go and let him get his own thing, and I don't have the magics. I mean, granted, you could go to Nidavellir and have the dwarves fashion a weapon for you, but the magic is what allowed you to do that. And of course, Bill gets pissed off. He's like, I've done everything for you guys, and I haven't asked anything in return except for this. Help me with this. He's like, alright, I can, but this path will be darker. I was like, alright, what are you talking about? And he brings up the Twilight Blade, the weapon that is usually reserved for Surtur. And this is important because Surtur destroyed Bill's homeworld with Twilight and everything. It's like, shit. But this would allow him to, because of all the power that it has done absorbing life throughout like solar systems and shit, it should be able to let him do that. And he's like, alright, let's kind of see how this works. I'm like, Bill, this is a dark kind of thing. It's like, I'm gonna do it. Because they have like the conversations of like, Odin's trying to get him to understand that it's what's on the inside that counts. And he's like, I'm not dealing with that horse shit. And he doesn't really buy it at first. And of course we see that Pip also has that same kind of thing, and that he wants to know how to deal with that as well. That's pretty much more towards the end of the issue that we get that going on. And I'm like, damn it, I feel for Bill. And this kind of adds more of a layer of dimension other than Bill being angry at Thor and wanting to get booty and everything. It's more of a deeper kind of problem than just that. So I like that a lot. Though granted, Thor I think would be alright and gladly help forge a new kind of weapon for Bill. Though granted, I do like that we see him doing this kind of on his own. I'm just like going for Surtur's blade. Evidently, Surtur and the blade have been separated, and Cinder's not taking it up either. So they're going to be going to Muspelheim to go and get this. And of course, he can't use the Bifrost. Someone's like, "Why can't you use the Bifrost?" I'm like, "Oh, whatever." But there is the Stygian Gate, which I think is interesting that Odin would have it called like that, because that's more of a kind of Greek kind of thing. But I like that fusion of different kind of mythological things. But he created this gate to pretty much shove shit in and keep it in, because Muspelheim in this kind of telling is more of a thing of like crazy ass gods and crazy ass shit that you don't want to fucking deal with, and you just put it in a hole, and you keep it in a hole, so that way it doesn't fuck your shit up and fuck you up and put new holes in your ass. Granted, I'm kind of embellishing and paraphrasing here, but it's pretty much the thing of like, put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. So help him, he's able to tell him where the Stygian Gate is, that he has tasked these Asgardians with guarding it, and we get them, and they're a really kind of strange kind of group, being like, yeah, alright, things usually go in, they don't come out, and if you got this hollowed out look because you're going to be changed going into Muspelheim, you're going to taste our steel. And this kind of group's kind of interesting. I'm like, that's kind of cool. They're got interesting kind of designs and interesting kind of thing of guarding the Citadel, the Stygian Gate, and everything. And they're like, all right, let's do this. Of course, that's when Pip brings up that he doesn't like the way he looks either, because he's a troll. Thought of as one of the most kind of disgusting looking creatures ever. And I'm like, dude, you need to fucking look in the mirror. You're all right, man. Fuck, granted, Bill, you look like a horse, but I mean, you look all right too, man. I understand that sex could potentially be really kind of weird and problematic in the horse form, but you're cool, man. People would help you. Ask for that help. Now, granted, he has demanded for that help and asked for that help, and he's going to get it, but we'll have to see what prices he's going to have to pay. So Scourge is like, nah, I ain't leaving your ass. That hell is boring. I know Muspelheim and shit. Let's do this. So they fly on through with Scuttlebutt, and they get through, they're like, holy shit, this place looks fucking nutty. And of course, Scott starts acting a little bit funny and shit. It's like, what the hell? And of course, Bill tries to figure out what's going on, and we see that Scott has been turned into this kind of like robot form, woman form. So, I'm here. And another kind of interesting thing is that Bill was kind of reflecting on him spending time with the gods and everything, because he felt contented with having Stormbreaker and being able to change between different forms, and if he needed to, like, if it was right to run away from the guilt of what happened to his homeworld. And the thing is, he did everything he could, and it was destroyed. And it sucks, but it's not really his fault. I mean, trying to fight Surtur is a giant task in and of itself. It's not like you were tasked with making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and then it accidentally fell on the floor. Or throughout no fault of your own, it turned into some kind of combustible jelly bomb that turns everybody into Cronenbergs. It's like outside of your control. You're built for a purpose or whatnot to help protect your homeland, and then a fucking fire god comes out of nowhere and says, "Ha ha, bitch!" and then does shit. It's like, it's really kind of cool to get that kind of deep diving into how Beta Ray Bill views himself and his successes and failures. It kind of makes it seem more understandable why he acted that way towards Thor, because, now granted, when Thor came in and thunder cracked, ping pang boom. But the thing is, Thor has also gone through hardships and failures as well, and has had to wrestle with them too. And if they had just talked it out, that would be an interesting kind of thing as well. But it's cool to see Beta Ray Bill trying to understand this on his own, as well with Scott and Pip and Scourge. So we pretty much end with Scott getting into more of a humanoid robot form, which I don't know how that will affect like the ship running, because it's a giant big fucking ship, and if it's usually used to having an AI kind of run it, trying to fly that kind of thing with like 4 people is going to be a problem. Never mind the fact that it's like, okay, that's their way out. Hopefully it's still usable. Now they've still got to like fight in a fire realm to try and get a giant fucking flame sword, and what that will kind of ensue. So we'll kind of have to see how that kind of works out. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.